The Pro Late Model portion of the Throwback Classic presented by FloRacing is about to get underway. The HendrickCars.com pace car heads to pit road. Spencer Davis leads us through the iRacing start zone, and we're underway from Hickory. Peak to the inside by Tristan McKee. Thought about going 3 wide as it's going to be Caden Honeycutt ripping the top lane to take the lead on lap 1.
What a restart there for Caden Honeycutt, driving away from Spencer Davis. And again, so many of these cars, we talked about it in qualifying yesterday, but the rubber washed off of this racetrack, and that's going to be the same case here in this race. So it just goes to show you, Hickory, this track changes all the time. Or even these teams, these crews are so smart. Many of them have been to this racetrack so many times over the years, but yet every time you come to this racetrack, something's different about it, whether it's the weather and how bad these bumps are. Again, these bumps, talking to a lot of these experienced drivers, they talk about how much worse it gets, especially off of turn 4 with what these drivers are dealing with.
Boy, Tristan McKee and Luke Baldwin are cutting a trail to the front. McKee opened the door to the bottom of Casey Roderick in the 62. Baldwin followed him right on through the doorway. That's going to kick Roderick outside of the top 5 in this green flag presence at the end of this lap, and there it is. 40 consecutive green flag laps for the Pro Late Models, and we see the competition caution through the iRacing restart zone they come, and Honeycutt was ready to fire off the jump. He's clear of Spencer Davis for the lead, who slots in line behind him with McKee peaking low for second.
And again, if that's going to be a concern, it's only 10 more laps until this race is official, and you can see the aggression. They feel like they may be racing for $30,000 right now. Here comes Tristan McKee looking for second. Davis trying to hold him off.
That's allowing Honeycutt to gain a little bit of breathing room behind him. Luke Baldwin the 4th. Diaz back to 5th. Roderick in the orange 62, poking the nose to the inside of Diaz to try to get back to the top 5, but to no avail.
Some of the best cars we've seen carving through traffic is right there on your screen. The 7 of McKee, the number 51 of Luke Baldwin. Diaz back in line.
Oh, trouble, turn 2. Massive pile up off the second corner. It was in the back half of the field, and several cars are caught up in this one. We're coming back to green through the iRacing restart zone. 59 laps to go, and with the second straight restart, Caden Honeycutt launches from the inside of the front row. Davis washes a little bit wide as they come off 2. We're side by side for 3rd.
Those 2 cars running in 3rd, the 7 of Tristan McKee, the 51 of Luke Baldwin. They've been so good at being able to work and maneuver their way through traffic here in this race. They're finally up with some of the other fastest cars that we have here on property. Baldwin able to clear from the top spot. Roderick almost putting Mason Diaz 3 wide into turn number 3.
Diaz trying to slide up into the tire tracks, and Caden Quapple in the 32, who just cracked the top 5 for the first time in this race, as Davis has a look for the lead in 3. Honeycutt slams the door shut. Second time there's contact between Honeycutt and Davis for the race lead.
We've seen a lot of these leaders. They've been able to make that second lane work. Let's see how Spencer Davis can try to get around this 47 Dustin Bryson throwback here for Caden Honeycutt. Into 3 and 4.
Oh, trouble behind them. Mason Diaz gets tagged and spins in turn 4, and everybody's able to get by. It's brought a good bit of precipitation along with it, as there is a live look at some of the raindrops falling in the pit lane.
And boy, our friend Brendan Willard doing a tremendous job right there, showing the signal that all of these race fans here at the racetrack and out on FloRacing have been waiting to see for well over a day. 1 to go. Spencer Davis and Luke Baldwin at the front of the field. Let's get the Throwback Classic presented by FloRacing back underway.
The most dedicated race fans in the country come to their feet in prime time on a Sunday. Let's settle the Throwback Classic for the pros. We're back underway.
And immediately the battle is on up front for $30,000. Again, it was Luke Baldwin and Tristan McKee a day ago that were some of the best cars and tried to work their way through traffic. But all of a sudden, Caden Quapple again got to move up a couple of spots. Also, Mason Diaz resumed his spot in line after his spin yesterday in turn 3 due to the rain. He's back in contention as well.
That's Diaz in the black car, 5th in line, is now McKee in the white 7 alongside of Luke Baldwin in the Rick Ware Racing number 51. Rick is here tonight, even in what was a cup race at Iowa earlier on in the afternoon, cheering on the organization to see if they can get their 3rd win of the season, and Luke 2nd as the battle continues behind him with the points leader Ben Mayer in the 6th, looking low on Casey Roderick.
Trouble in turn 1. flat tire, I believe that's for Nick Loden, as they went down into turn number 1, and again, just shy of the halfway point, the caution flag comes out.
One lap shy of the iRacing halfway award that would have gone to our pole sitter Spencer Davis. Into the iRacing restart zone, 1 lap shy of halfway, and McKee gets a great launch to the outside of Spencer Davis as they hop, skip, and jump their way through 1 and 2, and McKee is alongside of Davis for the lead in 3.
McKee was talking with us earlier today during the rain delay about how he felt that the track conditions like this might actually help him. Even if it is a little bit wet out there, he has rain racing experience in a Trans Am car. He got a great restart. He falls in line just before Luke Baldwin can try to make a battle for second, but is hounding the back end of that number 96 car, turn 2. And a lot of these drivers struggling with that as here comes Luke Baldwin. He and Tristan McKee coming to blows in 3 and 4, and you can see fighting very aggressively for that bottom lane in 3 and 4 right now.
Hayden Quapple in the 32 behind him watching on as these two touch doors again. You can see a bit of a donut just in front of the left rear tire on the side of the 7. He's also got one on the passenger side door of that 7 car as McKee. Baldwin to second, McKee back to third, Hayden Quapple.
Oh!
Look out!
What a save!
It's going to cost him second and maybe third. Now Baldwin falls to 4th spot after the bump and run by McKee to get back to the runner-up position.
And you can see Luke Baldwin, he's got bright gloves behind the wheel of that number 51 car, counter steering for all it was worth. What a tremendous job he did collecting that race car. If he can find a way to cook out victory lane, but right now Luke Baldwin just a bit too strong. We've seen this Rick Ware racing car and how much speed they've brought, regardless of who's been behind the wheel. In fact, they're leading the Owners' Championship right now in the Pro Late models because they've had so many different drivers behind the wheel. They've had multiple winners, and Baldwin getting back to third.
And they've lost about 2 tenths to Davis, who opens up the lead to about a second. 30 laps to go. Davis in some lap traffic, as now Baldwin gives a nudge to McKee off turn 2 to get back to the bottom side for second spot.
I think McKee struggling was going to be smart there. Oh, man, you can see, just look how high Baldwin got. You can see him struggling as he was trying to gain grip in that car. The outside line, again, we see the moisture that is on the outside retaining wall. There's still some weepers on the racetrack. So
what are you willing to do to win one of the big money checks that are on the line tonight? We're about to find out. Toro Rodriguez yields to the bottom. Davis goes high as the race leader in the 96. Baldwin on the bumper. With 6 to go, and there's contact. They get together. They somehow save it on the front straightaway.
Baldwin saw that as his chance to try and loosen him up on the top groove and get away. They make a little contact. You wonder, is the toe knocked out for the 51? Doesn't look like it. A little bit of damage for both of them. He jumps up on the rear quarter, but he's still got a chance at 30 grand. 5 laps to go.
And all the fans who have stayed out here at Hickory Motor Speedway for this 25-plus hour affair are on their feet. 4 to go, and Baldwin is back there for the race lead.
They're still going to have a little bit of lap traffic. Tristan McKee, a 2.5 behind these two. Lopez, the slower car. How does that play into the factor here? Coming to 3 to go. Baldwin's going to try to arc him out and get the run off at turn number 4.
That time, Davis has to pedal it a little bit to the outside of Brandon Lopez in a 1X car. Baldwin with a good drive off 2. Slight bobble by Davis. 2 to go when they come back to the line. Baldwin another late arc here to see if he can get to the bumper, but not this time.
They won't be able to get to Chase Hale in that 92 throwback, but Spencer slips up in 1 and 2. Baldwin looking to the bottom. Here they go, side by side for the race lead as they're coming to the white flag. 30 grand on the line. Who gets back here first? 1 to go.
Half a car length advantage for Baldwin. Davis crosses him under. Contact off turn 2. Another thrilling finish at Hickory as Baldwin hangs onto the car. Final corner. Davis runs him up wide. Here they come to the flag. Spencer Davis, by inches, is $30,000 richer in an instant classic at Hickory. What a race. Was that worth the wait or what?
39 1/1000ths of a second. How about that? What a race.
Hickory Motor Speedway never denies us of races like that.